This is Ronald Garnett of Your Financial Solutions. We have a great show for you today. We'll be right back after these messages.
This can't be happening. This can't be happening.
Of course it's not happening. Armored car. Listen, having money isn't about luck. Make your own coffee, save $1,000 a year. Feed me.
Feed the pig.
Sergeant Michelle Garcia served meritoriously in Iraq and has the medals to prove it. Soon after leaving the Navy, Lieutenant Chris Scott found a job, a home, and started a family of his own. Corpsman Richard Stokely took the skills he learned in Vietnam and put them to good use as a paramedic. But soon after leaving the military, each of these veterans fell on hard times and faced homelessness. Even after Michelle lost all her savings, even after Chris wasn't able to pay his mortgage, and even after Richard battled alcoholism for years, they each reached out for help when they needed it most. A simple phone call put them in touch with a trained professional from the Department of Veterans Affairs. That call got Michelle a place to stay until she could afford one of her own, put Chris in touch with employment assistance, and found Richard a substance abuse program. These veterans are success stories not only for how they were able to help others while serving their country, but for how they were able to let others help them. If you know of or are a veteran in need, make the call.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Hello, this is Ronald Garnett, your host for Your Financial Solutions. We want to welcome you to our show. Our guest today is Denise Tucker from Humana House.
Humana Treehouse. Yes.
Humana Treehouse, I'm sorry. I like that T-shirt though.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. For those who don't know, what is Humana Treehouse?
Humana Treehouse is a cold pressed juice bar and art gallery. We also serve vegan lunch. Well, actually now we serve vegan food all day long, but primarily a cold pressed juice bar, juice and smoothie bar.
Okay. Now, a lot of us have heard about smoothies and juices. Exactly what are they?
Okay. Well, a juice is an extracted, it's extracted from the plant or from the produce. So you get none of the fiber. So when you juice, you actually separate the fiber from the whatever you're juicing. So if it's an apple, you're separating the fiber and you're getting only the juice.
Okay.
A smoothie is what we call a blended juice. So that is fiber and everything. Whether you're blending vegetables or fruit, you get the entire fruit and it comes out, you know, either in liquid form like a juice, or you can blend it a little thicker to where it's like a meal.
Okay. And you say you do vegan dinners?
Food
Food
all day long.
Okay.
Yes. So for those who don't know the difference between what a vegan is or maybe a vegetarian doesn't partake in anything that comes from an animal. So if it has eyes and ears and a mama, then we don't do it. So
okay.
Generally everything is plant-based.
Okay, I understand that. Now, I have a cousin who's a vegan, and she won't eat anything that has a mother. That was what she told me. And she has had different meals with us. What about the taste?
The taste is important, especially in our community. We tend to want the taste. That's more important to us sometimes than the health benefits of the food. One of the things that I feel that I've been blessed to be able to do is to make it taste good while maintaining the health. It just depends on who's preparing it for you.
And how long have you been in business?
I've been in business in Augusta for 3 years. I'm actually in my 3rd year now.
And where are you located?
I'm at 305 8th Street, right in between Green and Ellis on 8th, directly across from Le Chatenois.
Okay. And if I'm a new customer that comes in and says, I've heard about vegan, I've heard about juices, I've heard about smoothies, help me. What do? I want to do something healthy.
Okay, depends on what you're looking for.
Okay.
If you're looking for food and you're not a vegan, we generally will direct you to something that will give you a feeling of something you're accustomed to eating. We don't do any soy. We just don't advocate soy, but we do have some other options that will make you feel closer to eating meat.
Okay.
And so if it's a sandwich or something you're looking for, we'll usually point you to like what we call a chick-un Philly,
Okay.
which is actually a grain-based meat substitute that we put with peppers and onions, and it'll give you that feeling of eating something a little bit heavier.
Okay.
If you're looking for a juice, we'll usually direct you to something that's a little bit on the sweeter side. I tend to take mine pretty raw. I like mostly vegetable juice, but people who are newcomers usually want to taste a little bit of sweetness, so we'll give you something with apple or pineapple in it.
Okay. Now, what are the benefits of vegan or juices or the smoothies?
Well, let's just start with vegan. I mean, we are animal, okay? In our humanness, we are. So we produce our own cholesterol. So when you eat an animal, they produce their own cholesterol. So you tend to have more problems with cholesterol, blood pressure. Not everyone, but some. So some of the benefits of a plant-based diet is to keep yourself healthy, stay off of those prescription drugs, and keep your blood pressure down and your heart healthy.
Now, one thing I want to get in to talk to you about and get into is that with the health aspect. Now, you had mentioned to me previously you work with doctors and people in the medical profession. Explain that to us.
Well, a lot of times people will go to the doctor, especially now in this time, where people want to kind of steer away from what they would consider traditional medicine, and they don't necessarily want to take drugs, and we don't have a lot of naturopaths, but they say they want to take the natural route, which means changing their diet. There are some physicians that actually frequent Humana Treehouse that will, send their patients over to just get some help with meal planning and things like that to kind of get them right on the right track, even when they don't necessarily want to change their diet to being vegan, but they want to take a healthier approach to their health. Then we help with that.
Yeah, I know that certain illnesses are very much related to what we eat. I know like diabetes, which is very rampant in our community. Is that really you have things that will help someone who's a diabetic?
Oh, most definitely. Everything that we serve is low on the glycemic index anyway. So yes, we do have things that will help. One of the things I say all the time is, and this is not in all instances, so I don't want anybody to take this as medical advice, but I say that most disease is not hereditary, but diet definitely is. We eat the way we've been taught to eat, and we pass that down, to our children and to our grandchildren and to their children.
Okay. I understand that, and I know, so you're saying that eating vegetables and juices and fruits can impact children, so they'll be healthier.
Oh, most definitely.
Habits.
We live in an age right now where you can find a fast food restaurant on every corner, and less grocery stores, more convenience food, more packaged food, more processed food. And that definitely contributes to the health of our children. I have a youth group, and I took them to, actually at this time it was my garden, and I told them, okay, we're going to harvest and then we're going to make a salad. Many of them didn't even want the salad because they didn't want the lettuce that came out of the ground.
Okay.
Because they don't make that connection. When they go in the grocery store, they see the head of lettuce or whatever kind of lettuce we're using, and they think, oh, it's born here. They don't realize that it's raised, it's grown from the ground. So it's kind of off-putting for them if they've never been exposed to it. So one of the programs that we're doing is called Ghettos to Gardens, and that's where we're trying to put more gardens in the inner city so that our children can learn how to grow food. And then it won't be as foreign to them, when, they have it, because the taste is totally different from processed to whole foods.
I understand that. Now, you are a small business owner, so is you and your husband, I understand?
Myself and my husband.
Okay. You've been in business 3 years. Can you give us some idea of how you got started and obstacles you had to overcome to start your business?
Yeah, well, my husband's an artist, and so he paints with his hands, and that's his skill, his gift. And I was doing, prior to opening, a lot of vegan catering and just juicing for people, on the side that needed some assistance. And we actually, it was more manifested. We prayed about what we wanted to do. We actually wrote it on a vision board and left it. We were invited to stage a space during Arts in the Heart as an art gallery. And from there, the next weekend, we found a space, weren't looking, it just kind of was put in our lap. And for me, the biggest obstacle was we don't have the money to do this. Because we didn't have the established credit that we needed to start, we couldn't find any money at that time, and we talked to everyone. So we had $1,000 and we paid the deposit on the building. We actually got our business license and did all of that, and we opened as a donation-only establishment. And then once we build up enough revenue, we actually opened full-time.
Okay.
And we've done it for 3 years with no help, no loans. I won't say no help.
Well, as a business consultant with my business, because I work with small businesses all the time, and the number one thing I have run into with people is they don't have that ability to take that first step, to step out there, which is a very big step. And I admire you for that, because $1,000, I remember starting my business with something like that and praying someone came in to pay me some money. But
that was it. It's challenging to take the step, but one of the big things about taking the step is if you don't take the step, then you don't know whether you can do it or not, right?
Correct.
So you take the step. And if you take the step and it doesn't work out, then you know you've done the best that you can with the step that you've taken. What I've done is just my husband and I, we do it day by day. We give thanks every day for every single day that we're in business, and that's just how we've continued to operate. And we always say that if tomorrow, there is no Humanitary House, as a brick and mortar, we've done everything we could do to make an impact on the community and provide a service.
Well, that's really great. I want you to really keep going and keep your faith. I think that's been the bedrock of what you were trying to do, the faith that you could do to take that step out there, because a lot of people have the skills and the knowledge, but can't take that step to say, I'm going to do it and fall on my face, or I'm going to do it and soar like an eagle. Okay? Okay, Denise, I want to thank you for being here and enlightening us on what you do and your services. I'm glad you were here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you. And we're going to go to break, and we'll be right back with another guest. Thank you.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
The Triangle of Health is a simple, easy-to-use nutritional system that has genuine positive effects on your physical health. Improving your well-being greatly impacts your life, career, and relationships. You might accomplish something extra at work, or spend a little more quality time with a loved one. Better health and nutrition enables you to experience more.
I'm Jerry Williams, your local county consultant. Call us no matter your condition. I can be reached at 706-619-2600.
fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television. You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
We're back with our guest, Representative Ernest Smith, who is a veteran and works with veterans. Representative Smith, you have a company. What's the name of your company?
My company's name is Stratix PMP.
And what does it do?
Interesting question. We do process reengineering, and process reengineering is basically going to a corporation and looking at their employees' file, see who was where, and to put their employees in the best position that they can utilize their skills to enrich the bottom line for the company.
Okay, you're like a consultant.
Similar to a consultant.
Okay. Now, you are a veteran and you work with veterans. Does your company, Stratix, work with veterans also?
We work with and for veterans, and we are contractors. And what we look to do is get contracts, federal, quasi-federal, some classified, some not, to do work not only in process reengineering, but cyber technology. We do project management, because I'm a project manager at PMP. That's where the PMP comes from on Stratix.
Okay.
Project manager. We do management work. We do teaching. We do a lot of work within the realm that will enrich the bottom line for corporations. And that's what they're looking for now.
Okay, how long have you been in business?
I've been in business for a little over a year because I just stepped out of the Georgia General Assembly officially this past January 2017.
Okay.
But I've been in the process of getting everything in line, all of my regulatory work done, all of my legal work done over the course of the last year, so that, as the old saying goes, I can step out with PF flyers and run fast and jump high.
Okay.
And so I've been able to basically start the process of getting that done.
All right, now, I'm going to ask you something because I never heard of your company before.
Sure.
And I am a generalist, not a specialist, okay? If I'm a business owner, what am I looking for out of you, and what can you offer my company?
Well, 3 things. It depends on what you're looking for. Again,
make money.
Okay, the bottom line, you're looking for a company that can add value to your bottom line.
Correct.
Where are your weaknesses? Because what I would look at is, where are your weaknesses first? And then I would look at your strengths. And then what we do is review your opportunities and the capacity for growth to ensure that the strengths that you have will continue to get stronger and your weaknesses will get smaller.
Okay. Well, how do we find you?
I have an email address, I have a phone number, and between those two, I didn't set up a website yet because I'm in the process of getting all of my VA certifications in, so it's fluid right now, so I didn't want to put anything out there that's not everything yet. But I have a phone number and an email address along with my card and information.
Okay, now, you mentioned veterans. Are you going to plan to work with veterans? You mentioned VA certification. What's that going to entail?
Well, I've gotten 95% of the VA certification done. I'm a service-disabled, veteran-owned small businessman. And as you know, you have to go through the federal process in order to get all of the cognitive federal work done so that you can legitimately say that I am at the top of the line as a service-disabled, veteran-owned small businessman. So I've done all of my leg work and all of my legal work, and it's a process. and it's been done, so I'm just waiting now on getting the green light from the federal government to say, well, yes, everything has been reviewed, you're good to go, you can officially put CVE, which is Charlie Victor Echo, on your SDVOSB designation that you are at the top of the line because you have all of your due diligence done.
Now, do you work with small businesses, large businesses, medium-sized? What's your target business?
Target business is now corporate and governmental. Department of Defense, Department of Energy, Department of Veterans Affairs, and major corporations. I don't do a lot of small business work, but what I engage in is what's called just-in-time professional team building. Just like you have just-in-time inventory. Just-in-time inventory is when you need it, you can actually have access to go in and get it, but you don't have it in stock, because when you have that kind of inventory in stock, you're losing money. Same thing if you have employees that if you don't have a contract, then you're paying employees to basically do
nothing.
Exactly. So when you get a contract and you have the fluidity to tap into professionals in your region, and we have quite a few professionals in our region that have cyber technology experience, have significant IT experience, have project management experience. So I can put a team together last week for any size contract in the world. And this is what the federal government looks for. This is what major corporations look for, because again, they want to know if you can add value to their bottom line with the kinds of things that they need done.
Okay.
And yes, Stratex can do that.
Okay, how did Stratex get started?
Well, an interesting question. And I'm a former veteran, almost 15 years U.S. Air Force. I was an air traffic control liaison coordinator. I'm fluent in Spanish and Turkish. If you come into Augusta Regional Airport, you'll see my name on the wall because I was on the Aviation Commission that helped get the terminal built because of my aviation business expertise. Again, I'm a project manager as well. And the thing is, going forward, if you look to get something done, if you're seeking to get contracts, the first thing you've got to understand is that you must be qualified to do that. So I did the work to do that, got my degrees, got my certifications, got my designations through the Veterans Administration, and I know the type of target market that I want to go into, because it all boils down to having the fiscal wherewithal to do it. But in order to get the fiscal wherewithal, you got to be qualified.
Okay. Now, did you have any kind of financial issues in getting your company started?
I did not, because I guess with my coming through the federal and quasi-federal realm and my always in a learning mode, I understood that if you expect a corporation, an entity to really look at you and to have you to be a part of their team, to add value to their team, you must be qualified. And so that's what I've sought to do, is get qualified. James Brown had a song. He said, I don't want nobody to give me nothing, open up the door, I get it myself.
Yeah, I understand.
But the thing with that is, you must be qualified in order to get through that door. And so that's the thing that I sought to do, was to actually get qualified so that companies and corporations can see that, yeah, if Smith is here on the job, if his team is here, we're in good shape.
Okay. Now, I don't know if it's true or not. Being an African American, are you kind of a rarity in this field, or is your competition mostly bigger companies, or?
Interesting question. That's something I haven't even considered looking at. It's kind of like asking the question, do you deal with racism? And I don't, because that's not my problem. And whether I'm the only one or one of a few, that's not my problem either. My focus is ensuring that I've got my A's in place, my I's dotted, and my T's crossed. And when I sit down to seek to win a contract, when I leave, I want them to know that, you know what, we don't need to interview anyone else. This is the team we need. We feel good about what they're bringing to the table.
Okay. Now, when you're bringing a team together, I guess it varies from job to job?
It does.
Okay.
Because no contracts are the same. You know, not just looking at cyber, not just looking at project management, not just looking at statistical or stratified processes, but there are any number of different contracts that are available. And because of the diversity, and that's a great thing, the diversity of professionals in our region. When I speak of our region, Augusta and this entire southeastern region, I can call some professionals that have the skill set and the wherewithal to do the kind of things that I need to get done, and we can partner together to get some work done.
Okay. I'm really glad you you were here to enlighten us. And one thing I want to say is that what you stressed is that professionalism, knowledge, and expertise will trump a lot of things. You don't have to deal with certain issues if you have the credentials and wherewithal to back up what you're trying to do.
It's true because, you know, at the end of the day, we can only control what is right here. We can't control anything out of our realm. We can control what's here. So we have to make sure that we have done all that we can do. So when you look in the mirror, you can say, you know what? I'm ready. I've done my due diligence.
Okay. Thank you, Representative Smith. Great to have you on the show.
It's a pleasure.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you next time.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Chocolate, vanilla, and cinnamon, apple, honey, and berry blend, strawberry, wildberry, tangerine, mango, raspberry, wintergreen. That's how you make cancer sweet. Why do they make tobacco taste sweet? Oh, why do they make tobacco taste sweet?
So you can't save money? That's easy as pie. Brown bagging lunch instead of going out. $6 save times 5 days a week times 10 years is $21,000. That's a lot of lettuce. Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow. Feedthepig.org.
Thank you for being with us today. We had a really great show, and we have another great show for you next time. Please come back to see us.